Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Wednesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Today's show, we'll kick it off here in just a minute with JC. Second portion of the show, we're going to have the Executive Director, Wayne Hogan from Florida Rising Stars Project, talking about what they have going on. Huge auction that cranks up tomorrow. Coach Spurrier is a part of that as well. But in the meantime, let's go to the Titan MR hotline, and we're joined by JC. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? I love Wednesdays, and we get close to the weekend. We've got so much to look forward to, QB. How's the sports podcasting tours that you've been on here lately going for you there?
They're going great. As usual.
What's everybody talking about? What's everybody talking about there, QB?
March Madness is what people are talking about, and obviously spring football. Everybody wants to know why the Gators aren't having a spring game. So anyway, speaking of UF, softball tonight, ranked fifth in the country, plays at UCF, who's 22nd in the country. We always have trouble with the Knights for some reason. But that's pretty much what's going on campus. They have increased the seating capacity.
3,000.
Is that what it is?
1,500 to 3,000, and you can sit 3 feet away from each other.
Yeah,
not six.
We're gonna have a packed football stadium this fall.
I was talking to a very important Florida Gator yesterday, and I forgot to ask him about that. But
he wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have known.
Well, I mean, he would have been somebody you want to ask.
He would have gave you the politically correct answer. Trust me.
Well, at any rate, I think it's well, then I also talked to a season ticket holder, and he said, well, they seem to act like they are going to fill the stadium, meaning, please buy your tickets. Here's what we've got. This is that, the other. And everybody who I know who bought season tickets or who are buying season tickets expect that to happen. So I think that's news. That's good news. And certainly, we're still a pretty good ways away from that becoming a reality, but they're going to have to announce it well before it eventually happens, I would guess. Maybe they don't have to, but they will. And I think that's what you'll see.
JC, did you hunker down yesterday and watch the SEC Network Alabama's Pro Day?
No, somehow I missed that. I was enjoying our 79-degree weather yesterday, or 89-degree weather, and we've got more of that coming. No, I missed it. What they show? I
don't know. Why the hell would I watch it?
Well, you asked.
Well, I figured you did. I figured you had it on your calendar.
Well,
and you taped it and watched it.
I can't tell you that Najee Harris was in Dallas, Texas, and he was going, and his plane got canceled because of lightning. So he was going from Dallas to Birmingham, and his plane got canceled because of lightning. So he got in a car and drove late at night, got there in time to support some of the guys who were participating in it, because I don't think he was, but he was there anyway to support his other teammates or former teammates. And I tell you, the draft is something that maybe this year I have more anticipation of than in the past, because there's going to be so many players that I love watching play actually get picked up in the first round potentially. So, Kyle Trask, where is he going to go? What round will he go in?
I think people have him slotted, the experts, around third round.
So, so he's going to be a guy that I'm really interested in seeing who gets his services. Some teams are really in need of quarterback play, obviously, as we know, and good backups for quarterbacks who are aging. And then, of course, Alabama and a lot of other SEC teams, ton of players that are going to be drafted. What are the Dolphins going to do? I think they've stuck on the decision to keep Tua there and stay away from the Deshaun Watson baggage that's happening right now and all of the drama in his life. So I guess that it's going to be very interesting. And I think the NFL is going to have fans in this year's draft. They're not going to do it virtually. So In that case, it's going to feel very real. And
where are they having the draft this year?
Yeah, and I thought it was I thought it was Las Vegas. Hell, I don't remember. But I could that's something that can be looked up very easily, QB. But I just think the draft itself is going to be very exciting. Well, it's going to be more interesting to watch than maybe what we had to endure last year.
Yeah, Natasha says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Kyle Pitts ran a 4.46, freaking amazing. Yeah, he's I think Kuiper had him. I think I saw or heard or read. Are the Bengals picking 5th? I think they have him going to the Bengals. He'll be playing with Joe Burrow. Joe comes off his knee injury. So I'm anxious to see. And then some people think Tony will be a first rounder. Some people think he may be early second. So time will tell.
Oh, I think go ahead. Sorry.
And then Trask will probably be a 3rd round pick. So those are the top 3 guys. I can't. Some of our defensive guys, I think Trey Grimes, they'll go late in the draft. But I'm anxious to see what they do with Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that can really disrupt defenses out of the slot, perhaps, or in the backfield. I'm excited to see where all these guys are going because, again, this is going to be a draft where I think locally we're really watching those players you just mentioned. But all around the conference, there's going to be guys that go, and usually that's always the case out of the SEC. So, they talk about the Pac-12 dominating in basketball in the tournament right now. I think you're going to see the Southeastern Conference dominate in the NFL draft.
Well, that happens every year. I mean, that's given.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, like really, I'm talking about dominating the fashion in the sense of not just being drafted, but being drafted very, very highly.
Yeah. So I'm anxious to see what the Jets do with their pick. And we'll talk more with some so-called experts as it gets closer. So, are they going to stick with Sam Darnold? Are they going to take Justin Fields? Are they going to take Zach Wilson? If they're going to take a quarterback, you take Zach Wilson before you take Justin Fields. It's not even close.
Or if, like you say, they stick with Darnold, they're going to take Devontae Smith. I mean, or somebody like Chase.
I don't know if I don't know. I haven't even seen where Devontae Smith is slotted to go. I haven't really followed it, honestly. But, a lot of people are worried about his size, which I don't understand at all.
When he's got the football running in space, I don't know. I guess it's just, how is he going to get off that line of scrimmage in tight man coverage? I don't think it's a problem. It hasn't been yet. In his college career, he went to the national championship game 3 out of 4 years and was a winner in 2 of those 3. So just an amazing career for a kid out of Louisiana that played for Alabama.
Let all the viewers know what kind of hat you're wearing today.
Well, it's a blue hat. It's a blue hat. I am very proud of, not the fact that Florida couldn't beat this little no-name school out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, but, Oral Roberts to me is the Cinderella story, right? I mean, they are certainly the highest seed to be in this Sweet 16, followed by the Ramblers of Loyola, and they will be playing the second SEC team to make it. Well, I guess they were the first because of the way the brackets played out, but Arkansas is going to play Oral Roberts, and the winner will get Baylor. So I don't anticipate either Arkansas or Oral Roberts getting through this bracket, but I just have to salute those Golden Eagles, not because they could beat the Gators. They shouldn't have beaten the Gators, frankly, but because of the fact that this is Cinderella at the big dance. I mean, number 15 seed, the last team to do it was Florida Gulf Coast. When was that? 05 or 06 when Florida Gulf Coast made it. Maybe it was more recent than that, but it feels like that's about when that happened. Which doesn't seem like it should have been that long ago, frankly. But I know Florida Gulf Coast was the last. I think they were the last 15 seed to make this round of 16. So, this kid Max Asmus, we've talked about. He was their savior against Florida. He's also making quite a name for himself, even though nobody knows how to or why he pronounces his name the way he does. But they've got Arkansas, and then they've got either Villanova or Baylor, most likely Baylor. And so, I think the dance ends for these guys. But, hey.
Well, they've already played Arkansas once this year in Bud Walton Arena and lost by 10, so you never know.
You never know. You're right. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, they space the floor, and as I said, they got two guys that'll probably get a shot at the NBA, the point guard and the big man who can shoot the three. So it'll be a good game to watch. Are you surprised at the Pac-12? I mean,
well, go ahead.
They weren't very impressive in the regular season, honestly. I mean, I'd see some games and just not very impressive. I don't know if it's the way they got matched up in these brackets, because basketball's all about matchups, and they're playing well. All their teams are still in it except Colorado, who FSU took out. I'm shocked, especially the Oregon State situation. Well, their coach was literally, they were ready to clean his office out after the first round of the Pac-12 tournament, because they weren't expected to win any games out there. And now here they are in the Sweet 16.
I tell you, it is a great story for them. And if I'm that coach and I can get through Loyola and either Houston or Syracuse and make it to the Final Four, I'm telling Oregon State folks that I need a raise before I come back to Corvallis. Oregon State, is the surprise, I think, out of that conference. But I'll tell you what impressed me was their cross-state rival, or their rival from 60 miles away, the Oregon Ducks, and the way they can light it up offensively. Now, granted, Iowa likes to run with you, and they don't play a whole lot of defense, or didn't in that particular game, but Oregon showed me something. And then this UCLA team that Alabama's going to play, certainly Mick Cronin has taken that Midwestern style of coaching that he, is all about. He came from I think he learned a lot from Bob Huggins and people. He coached at Cincinnati. I think he replaced Bob Huggins at Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. But he is a Midwestern guy. I know that. And he brought a certain toughness to UCLA that I think they definitely needed. And UCLA is this team that had a play-in win, and then, of course, just took out, the team they played, the two teams they played in the first and second rounds. So they've won 3 games to get to this situation. So they're, a very interesting story. And then I think the most talented team out of the Pac-12 that has made it this far is the team that Oregon's going to end up playing, a conference rival in Southern California. The bad news for both Oregon and Southern California is that they'll likely play Gonzaga. So it's probably going to end for one. Well, it will end for for both of those teams. So
just remember our wager, our lunch wager.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet there, Big Shot. You already ordered it. You got your menu picked out already? Is that
absolutely?
Well, I think you'll enjoy the drive-through at Burger King. But I think you got USC and Oregon likely not going to get through Gonzaga. So there's 2 that won't be there. And then UCLA will be playing Alabama. Hard to think that. Well, I guess they could certainly beat Alabama, but Alabama, if they tee it up like they did the other night, is going to probably advance to the Final Four. And then, Oregon State has the best chance in my mind of all those Pac-12 teams of getting to the big dance, because if they beat Loyola, then they'll play the Houston or Syracuse and win. Now, speaking of your beautiful Gonzaga pick and your team there, the only team that could give Gonzaga a real interesting game, and maybe I'm crazy saying this, but the way Syracuse plays defense and the way they can shoot the ball outside, slowing the game down, I don't know. I mean,
the problem is Syracuse plays a zone.
Yeah,
a 2-3 zone the entire game, and Gonzaga has nothing but shooters on their scores.
That's a problem for zone defense. So that's where you hope that they get cold night. That's all I can tell you. I mean, really, because that's the only team that's going to zone Gonzaga, right? I mean,
I would never zone them.
Never. Well, then what are they going to do? So so you wouldn't want to zone them. You don't like playing them man-to-man. What are you going to do?
You can't. I told you they're the best assembled college basketball team I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, they got a few more games to play there.
I know that, but
do you want to just cancel the tournament now? Or let's just forget about
I just want to see somebody try to beat them. The only team that has a chance of beating them is Baylor.
Well, talent-wise, maybe that's true, but this game isn't about talent. We've seen that already. It's not about talent. If it was about talent, we wouldn't be talking about this team. We wouldn't be talking about Oregon State.
You don't think Oral Roberts is a talented basketball team?
I think they are, but come on now. I mean, don't try and give me this thing about Oral Roberts being somebody you thought was going to be around this time. That's not
no. But JC, you have to be told. You have to not even understand athletics if you can't watch Oral Roberts play and tell me their point guard Ace is not going to be an NBA player.
No, they're good players, but I'm not doing the NBA draft right now. And I know that the best way to get to the Final Four, a lot of people say, is to have NBA players. Okay, fine, I get it. But we have talked about the fact that this tournament is special because it's about teams that sometimes don't have NBA players or sometimes have an
that's
NBA
true.
player,
that is true. But that's the beauty of college basketball, because basketball is the one sport that you can have an even playing field, so to speak, regardless if you're a Gonzaga or you're a Loyola of Chicago, because there are so many great basketball players. I mean, I don't know if you watched Ohio the other night. Ohio, I had going to the Sweet 16. They lose. Who beat them the other night? Villanova? No.
No, it was Creighton.
They're probably one of the best shooting teams in the country. Creighton is, but when they don't shoot, they're terrible. But my point is, the point guard who became an All-American this year, I don't know if you've heard the story, he didn't even play on his high school team. He went to like a little camp or something. I can't remember the entire story, but it goes to show you that there's so many good players at these small schools that people have never heard of. For whatever reason, they fall through the cracks. But there's so many good players. And that's why, Florida's basketball team next year, Tyree Appleby's coming back, who is a transfer from Cleveland State. They're going to be nothing but transfers next year. And that's where I would go if I'm Mike White. Arkansas, their entire team is made up of transfers. Their point guard is from JU, played for the Dolphins last year. Yeah. Okay. So that tells you in basketball, you can come from a smaller school. You can't do that in football. You don't see guys from Division III going to major D1 programs in football because it doesn't happen. So real quick, we got a text here on the Titan MR text line. It's from Daryl. He says, Shane, does JC know somebody that has a hat company?
No, it's just called the internet.
It's called the internet and JC's credit card.
I mean, I just love seeing stories like this. I don't know if you had to pick one of the two true Cinderellas, which one would you rather root for to get through the furthest? Would you root for Oral Roberts or the Loyola? Because I know you've been talking a lot about Loyola. You've always talked about Loyola.
I've always liked Loyola. I like the way they play. And then their big man has been there for years. He was on the team when they went to the Final Four. What was it, 4 years ago or whatever?
Yeah.
I think Loyola handles Oregon State. I really do.
Okay, they could.
I think Oral Roberts' game is going to be very, very close against Arkansas. I think Arkansas will pull it away. I think Moses Mooney is too good of a player. But and then those are the only two.
I think the one game
Cinderella stories.
Yeah, they are. I don't see Houston. I don't know. I mean, Houston is
Houston's good, man.
They're good, but they really had to pull it out of their what to win that game the other day.
Well, if you look back, think about Florida's runs in the tournaments. Sure. It's not like they buried everybody. You had the shot, Mike Miller. If Mike Miller doesn't make that shot,
Billy doesn't win anything. That's right. I know.
We don't even go. I mean, it's just it's all about breaks and making plays here and there. Anyway, JC, I just want to let everybody know who won the Chomp Harder hat for this week. If you want to be in the drawing, all you got to go is potupwithshane.com. Put your name in the hopper. It goes to Al Hudson. Al Hudson, I believe they said he lives in Destin. And don't forget, you can go and sign up for a COVID-19 Tech survival kit.
I can't see it. It's in the Gator thing.
It's right here. You can't see it now?
Well, you got the chroma key thing to deal with.
Yeah, I know.
All right. But it is a survival kit, QB. It's a survival kit.
Yep, you need it for March Madness as well. So, JC, we get to do our picks. None of our golfers were worth the crap last week.
I mean, my guy finished higher than your guy.
You did, but I mean, what would your guy? My guy was 1 under par, I think. What was yours?
Mine was 3 or 4, yes.
Yeah, our golfers weren't great. But Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Visit them at peachlanddental.com. Today is JC and the QB Peachland Dental golf picks. We could pick, well, the games, we'll pick games on Friday.
You want to pick games on Friday?
We'll do 2 Peachland Dental. So this week it's interesting because it's match play out at Austin, Texas.
Yes.
I'll let you go first. I always let you go first because that's the kind of guy I am. Who's your first pick, JC?
My first pick is John Rahm. John Rahm is my first pick. Played well. I thought he could catch fire here.
You know, it's interesting because last year the winner, I guarantee I could poll everybody that listens to our show, and they could not tell us even. I mean, they could go for days and not tell us who the winner of this event was last year. It's match play. And what's interesting in golf, some players aren't good at match play.
That's right.
And it's strange because you still golf your ball.
Tiger had a hard time playing match play events.
Yeah. So the winner of this event last year was Kevin Kisner. I am not picking him because I don't think he's going to win this year. I'm going to go with Colin Morikawa, the Cow Bear.
Yeah, he is the Cow Bear. Got him. Okay, that's a good pick. Let's see. Who's he playing? Doesn't matter.
I don't even know I don't even know they're matched up with. I'm just picking golfers.
Your guy is playing Max Homa. Colin Morikawa is playing Max Homa. Let's go here with. You're going to just laugh at me for taking going so far out on a limb here. I'm going to take. Well, I don't know if he's going to do well or not, but I'm going to take DeChambeau. I'm going to take him. He can make birdies anywhere. This is my guy. You know he is. I love the guy. He's got one of the best short games in golf. So,
all right, I'm going to take Victor Hovland. I like the youngster. He's got a lot of endurance because, you know, if you're going to go a long ways, you got to play a lot of holes in this.
He's got a lot of endurance.
He's a youngster.
He's got a lot of endurance. Because you need that endurance when you're out there.
Think about. I mean, you know, because I want to say on the last day you had to play 36 holes.
Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of walking around. Sure is.
Yep.
Even though you could finish before 18 holes is up. Okay, so, you know, this guy has already won once. I've taken him a couple times. He's really not disappointed me. He's Florida State Seminole. I'm not going to take Daniel Berger. I'm going to take a guy that you think stinks. But he's playing in the state of Texas. He's playing in his hometown where he went to college. Tell me who he is. I gave you 2 clues. He's playing in his hometown.
It's a Texas Longhorn, so you're taking Jordan Spieth.
Good job, QB. That's who I'm taking.
Well, I'm taking an Englishman for my 3rd pick.
Oh, Matthew Fitzpatrick, maybe?
No, I'm going with Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah. What happened to him at TPC? I would have expected him to play better. There's a lot of British players. McElroy is Northern Irish, but Poulter is in this. Matthew Fitzpatrick is in this, and you're going with Tommy Fleetwood. And that's, you know, a guy who's probably going to break through at some point and win a big one here in the States at some point. He's playing a lot of golf over here, and is a very capable player. He's playing Siwoo Kim in his first match. So that Siwoo really showed up at the TPC, which is what he's done before. So you've got Morikawa, Hovland, and Fleetwood, a Cal Bear, I guess he's
I got
Swedish.
2 foreigners. I got a dude from Norway.
Golfer. Oh, Norway. Okay, Norway and Britain. And I'm going with a Spanish golfer, a Texan, and I'm not sure where did DeChambeau go to?
He's from SMU.
Oh, okay. So I got.
Come on, JC, you're on a talk show. You got to know this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got two Texans and a Spaniard. You got a Norwegian, a Brit, and a guy from Cal.
Joe says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law, he's picking Webb Simpson. I like that pick with the gator on the back, Paul Tesoro. JC, do you know what the prize purse is for winning the match play? It's quite a bit, right?
Well, it's not hard. Yeah, no, I don't know off the top of my head. I know that the one they just finished here at TPC was the largest, though.
Right.
The Dell Technologies match play. I would guess it's
At least $2 million.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it seems to be with these. Well, hell, you know what? That's a great question. I'm going to tell you right now, it is $1.82 million. 1.82, 550 FedEx Cup points, and the prize purse is $10.5 million. Golf is very lucrative if you can be one of the best 125 players in the world, and that's all you need to do is just be one of the best 125, QB.
That's it. It's
That's
not
it.
Very, not very difficult.
1 through 125, you get that, man. Your world gets very small.
Yeah.
Golly, the money these guys can make, and it's not just winning purses or winning tournaments or playing on the weekends. It's all the stuff they get to wear too. Justin Thomas, you know, such a great weekend he had at TPC, and I you know, he's had some off the course issues that have bled onto the course for him, but he's certainly overcome those, and I'm just tickled that he was able to win TPC with a 12 under round on the weekend, 12 under for the 2 days.
Yeah, it was extremely impressive.
It was very impressive.
John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law here from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. I've never followed golf, but I have wondered what makes a golf tournament a major. I heard several people say TPC should be a major. That's a pretty good question for a guy that doesn't know much about golf. I don't know what. Okay, so you got the British Open. There's 4 majors, John. You got the British Open, the U.S. Open, the Masters, and the PGA Championship. Those are the majors on the PGA Tour. And they say the TPC, the Players Championship, because it's their tournament, it's the best field in golf. Because on the U.S. Open, JC and I can go qualify for the U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. Anybody, if you make
it's an open. Cut, it's called an open.
Same way with the British Open, it's open. So you have a lot of amateurs sometimes and club pros playing in those events. The Masters,
that's an invitation.
It's a great field, but it's got some amateurs and other stuff. It's invitational. The PGA has a lot of PGA club pros that play in it as well. So the Players Championship is only the players on the PGA Tour. It's the best field in golf. It's the highest payout.
First, yes.
And so people think it should be, it is known as the 5th major. So I don't know if I explained that very well.
Well, the other thing is with the British Open and the Masters, you have history that dates back to the 1930s, and for the British Open, almost to the turn of the 20th century there, because that's where the home of golf is. The home of golf is considered to be St. Andrews, Scotland. That's where the game was invented. So the RNA, which is the European equivalent to the USGA, let's say, has their headquarters. I think they are domiciled at St. Andrews in Scotland. And so that's the oldest tournaments, the British Open. All right. So obviously as the oldest and one of the most prestigious, that's why it's a major. The U.S. Open is a major because it's the open tournament for all of the players who can qualify to play in the United States from throughout the world. So that's, my dad always thought the U.S. Open was the biggest one. But then there are people who say the Masters has all the tradition and the Bobby Jones, Dwight D. Eisenhower, the president, played there. Bobby Jones played there. The history there of that course in that one spot, because in the British Open and the U.S. Open, they're always rotating to different courses every year. In the Masters,
the PGA.
Right, but in the Masters, it's in one spot, and Bobby Jones is basically like the founder. You had Saracen, you had Snead, you had Hogan, you had Hagen, you had all the great names, and of course Jack Nicklaus winning the most Masters. So that's why it's the major. It's so exclusive, right? It's so exclusive. You have to literally be invited or qualified to get there, and then invited to come. So, yeah, that's I best. And the PGA, though, for the 4th major, as they consider the PGA, some of the most exciting rounds of golf in the final round have been played at the PGA. Bob May and Tiger Woods. The shot that Sergio Garcia hit from behind a tree when he ran around into the fairway to see where it went as a very young player just on the tour. The PGA has had some incredible finishes and some real memorable rounds there in the final round. So that's one of my favorites, to tell you the truth, is watching the PGA.
All right, JC, before we let you go, let's do This Day in Sports. Comfort Temp. Comfort is your business. Peace of mind is our promise. This month, get a free annual maintenance plan with every residential duct cleaning purchased, $199 value. Service department is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for your convenience. All right, JC, this happened in 1956.
Oh,
In the NCAA, the 18th NCAA basketball championship game.
okay.
The San Francisco Dons
Yeah.
beat the Iowa Hawkeyes to win their back-to-back national titles. Did you know the Dons won back-to-back?
No, but did who was the famous player that came out of there? Was it Bill Russell?
I think it was.
Was it Bill Russell? There is a famous player that was a San Francisco Don, and it was I want to say it was Bill Russell, but regardless, yeah, the Dons, baby. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and then also on this day in 1962 in the NCAA tournament, Cincinnati beats Ohio State 71-59 for the Bearcats back-to-back national titles. I didn't know the Bearcats won back-to-back. That has to be Oscar Robertson.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Ohio. I had no idea. That was very interesting. These are very interesting. This date in histories.
Well, it goes to show you because I know Florida. I mean, Florida's the most recent team to win back-to-back. I want to say Duke was before them, if I'm not mistaken, or Duke had a chance and lost. I can't remember, but I'm going to have our research staff. I want to know how many teams actually won back-to-back because I had no idea San Francisco and Cincinnati did that.
And I told a friend of mine who you know as well, who's a huge Ohio State fan, the stat you gave of the Big Ten only having 3 national titles in I guess the major sports in the last 20 years, and he didn't believe me. I said, well, okay, 2 of them are from your football team. They beat Miami and they beat Oregon. And then the other one, tell me what the other one was. And even though he didn't believe that stat, he couldn't tell me. I said, it's Michigan State, you ding dong. And he said, oh, okay, yeah, basketball. But then he swore there was someone else. And I said, well, go ahead and name it. And he couldn't. So very, very astute research that you have.
Yeah, no, 7. Okay, so our great research staff says there's 7 schools that have won back-to-back national titles in basketball. They failed to tell me who they were, but there's 7.
That's okay. It is a great staff you've assembled there.
And Dan says on Facebook, Florida's the only team since they expanded the tournament to win back-to-back, he thinks. So anyway, all right, JC, good stuff. We will talk to you. Get your picks ready for Friday, my man.
You got it, bud.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. We're going to take our first time out of the program today. When we come back, we're going to be joined by the Executive Director of the Florida Rising Stars Project, Wayne Hogan, talking about this wonderful auction that they have going on that you're going to want to participate in. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back.
Hey Gators, this is Coach Steve Spurrier. Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Wrap Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Darshakow Insurance. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome Welcome back to a Wednesday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Dave & Buster's, Nike, Sushi Hana, Uzzaline Day Spa, and coming June of 2021, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Visor's Rooftop Bar. We will see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to head back to the Titan MR Hotline, and we're going to be joined by the Executive Director of the Florida Rising Stars Project, Wayne Hogan. Good morning, Wayne. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Shane. How are you this morning?
Doing well. Appreciate you taking the time. We've had you guys on our show before. Before we get into the auction, what y'all got going on, just kind of give us a brief synopsis again for all our listeners and viewers, what the Florida Rising Stars Project is all about.
Well, I appreciate that, Shane. We've put a lot of work into the infrastructure for this organization. My partner, Jan Richard, has really been a go-getter over the last year or so with this concept. The basic premise of this is to allow high school age kids an opportunity to attend a series of camps. And it's not like your ordinary camp. Yeah, there's some instruction on the field. If you're a great athlete and you want to participate in on the field activities, that's great. We happen to think there are a lot of high school kids that are not necessarily great athletes, but they love sports. They want to do something in sports. They want to work in sports, perhaps have a career. And as you know, there are so many avenues that you can take that put you close to the action. And we believe we can give these high school kids a leg up. They're going to have some choices as to which career tracks they want to take a look at, from sports marketing to sports broadcasting to sports medicine. And there's even one track in sports officiating, and we'll get into that maybe a little bit as we go. But so this is a very unique operation. Is it on the field? Yes. But there's also classroom, and there's also an opportunity for these kids to learn what kind of skills they need and how they can go about getting a foot in the door if they want to have a life in the sports world. And you know how valuable that is. Look at you, what you're doing now. I mean, there's so many things you can do to stay close to the action.
No doubt about it. So second question, when do these camps take place? And so if I understand correctly, they go out, they do football related drills and stuff on fundamentals and all that stuff on the field. They come in, they do a little bit of classroom work with, whether you want to be sports medicine, sports broadcasting, sports management. And then y'all also have people talk to them about like substance abuse, being a disciplined athlete, person on and off the field, correct?
That is absolutely correct. The only thing I would mention is not everybody will be involved in those career track programs. Those are going to be selected by the young person as they come to the camp. So if you're a great athlete in football or baseball, basketball, softball, whatever it might be, you may choose to do this camp it's a one-day experience. So you may choose to be on the field, and you're going to be on the field most of the day, other than when we get together to talk about life lessons. Then the other kids, they make a pick. I'm going to take my day today, and I'm going to learn about sports broadcasting. And so they're going to have an opportunity. Those kids, while the other ones are on the field, those kids are sitting at an ESPN type desk. They're learning what goes on behind the scenes. They're learning what goes on in front of the camera. And all those. At the end of the day, you are correct in saying that at the end of the day, we bring everyone together and they learn how everything interacts in sports. Even if you're an on the field athlete, that there's so many things going on behind the scenes that make your program strong. That you can't do this all by yourself. Somebody's got to promote the game. Somebody's got to keep the stats. Somebody's got to turn on the scoreboards. Somebody's got to take care of your injuries. Somebody's got to officiate the game. So what it teaches is there's a lot of avenues to be involved in sports. And that's what we're trying to do because, I'll be honest with you, Shane, when I was in high school, I was an okay baseball player, but I knew I wasn't going to do that for a living. But I really loved the sports world and I wanted to be involved. I thought I was going to be a broadcaster. To be honest with you, I really, that was kind of a goal of mine. I had no clue. I had no clue what skills it took. I had no clue how to get a foot in the door. I had no idea until I got into college and was able to get some guidance in that. If I had had that opportunity in high school, it would have given me a head start so that I wouldn't have had to wait around 2 years of a college career to figure out how I'm going to be able to work in sports. So I think this is going to be an eye opener. It's very unique. It's something that I don't know that anyone else is doing. And we're just excited about it. We're going to start, by the way, our camps are going to start in June. We're going to run them in 4 different venues right now. We're looking at the Tampa Bay area, Orlando, Gainesville, and Tallahassee for our first round. And as I mentioned, their one-day experiences are going to be on Saturdays. We have the very best instruction. We've got people that are practitioners in the field that are going to come in and are going to provide guidance to these kids. And we're just very excited about it. We should be announcing dates in the very near future. As you can imagine, we were kind of set back by COVID in terms of getting everyone together. But we believe now we've got a door open to start. And June, right after school is out, right after the Memorial Day holiday, we should be able to jump in full blast in 4 different locations over the summer.
We're speaking with Wayne Hogan, Executive Director of Florida Rising Stars Project, here on the Titan MR Hotline from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. So on these camps, as you mentioned, they're going to be sometime in June at 4 different locations, one-day camps. Is there a cost for the young athlete to attend? Do y'all have sponsors that take care of those costs?
The critical mission for our organization is to raise money. We're a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, and our goal is to be able to provide these kids, many of which will be from underprivileged neighborhoods, underserved neighborhoods, that sort of thing, an opportunity to attend these camps at no cost. And we'll do that by donations. We'll do that by seeking corporate sponsorships and corporate help. We've already gotten a lot of interest going. Well, we've got some ideas about some fundraising, a GoFundMe account. We've got an auction coming up that you mentioned, which you'll talk about in just a couple of seconds. But we're going to raise some money so that these kids don't have that financial burden. There will be an opportunity for kids to pay to go. The cost of this one-day camp is going to be in the neighborhood of $100, $99, $100. And kids that can afford that, their families can afford it, certainly they'll have an opportunity to do that. But we don't want to turn any kids away because they can't. Their families are not able to afford that tuition.
Talk about some of the ambassadors that are involved with y'all.
Well, one of the things that Jan Richard has done is he's really gone about selling this and getting great endorsements from celebrities all over the nation. A lot Florida-based, but not so much totally in Florida. But you could start with Steve Spurrier. The head ball coach is very much involved in this and really believes in what we're doing and has made several appearances on our behalf. And one of the things we've done is we've corralled Bobby Bowden, and we've gotten the head ball coach and Bowden on the same Zoom link several times. And that's funny when they go back and forth a little bit. There's 2 guys with great memories. They remember every play of every game and what happened and what the situation was. So it's fascinating to see them. So between Bowden, Spurrier, Mark Richt is in the fold, Vince Dooley, Rocky Blyer, Wade Boggs, Johnny Damon, on and on. I mean, we've just got, there's 58 ambassadors. In fact, there's a guy named Shane Matthews, and there's also a guy named Danny Werfel that are part of our ambassadorship.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to be a part of it. Let me ask you this, because your camps, we talked in the summertime, are going to be mostly football stuff on the field. But you got a lot of ambassadors like Johnny Damon, Wade Boggs, other guys that played other sports. Are y'all thinking about having some baseball type camps as well?
Shane, we will. Depending on the time of the year it is. We're going to do, for example, when we come to Gainesville in June, we'll be coming back there in the fall. And depending on the time of year, that's the kind of sports we'll be offering. For example, we'll have baseball, softball. in one of our camps. Over the summer, we do a basketball version of this, so that it's primarily directed towards that. And then we also have soccer and football. We pair those two together, so you have soccer and football on the field. And it just depends on which time of year we come in. We don't have all of those sports at every camp. They will be directed to an individual sport depending on the time of year and depending on the venue for the event. And we'll market that. We'll market that very well. Once we have a date and a venue within the different communities, we'll begin to market that, and we'll market to certain sports that we'll be providing at those individual camps.
We got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Melton Law. Natasha lives in the Tampa area. She's been very involved with other camps at UF and USF, and she wants to know where y'all will be in Tampa, and if y'all need help, can they have volunteers come out and help?
Absolutely. We'll be using a lot of volunteers. We do not have a venue nailed down at this point for Tampa. We're doing that as soon as we get through this auction. That's our next mission. We're going to look very closely at campuses, either high schools or college campuses in those areas where they have plenty of opportunity for classrooms and on the field activities. And tell that listener that the best way to contact us, I'd love to have a conversation with her, is through our website at floridarisingstars.com. I'm going to give my email address, hogan@floridarisingstars.com. Pretty easy to do, and I'd love to have conversations. We will use a lot of volunteers, and by the way, we have a tremendous relationship with the Florida High School Coaches Association. Sheldon Cruz is the director of that organization. They are fully on board with what we're doing, and they'll be providing a lot of the instruction. A lot of the on-the-field instruction will come from top-notch high school coaches in each of these areas. But volunteers, absolutely, we're going to need volunteers.
And if people want to donate, and we'll talk about the auction here in a minute, but they can donate on the website as well, right?
They certainly can. There's plenty of opportunities to do that. FloridaRisingStars.com. Easy.
All right. Let's talk about this big auction that cranks up tomorrow, I believe. It's going to be 3 or 4 days. How people can get involved with that and some of the items in the auction.
Well, it's going to be an online auction, obviously a virtual auction. And we have just some great items in the auction. I'll talk about that a little bit. A lot of signed memorabilia. We've got a great package from the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. We've got the same type of a package from Bobby Bowden. We're talking about signed helmets, actually game helmets, signed, books. In Bobby's case, DVDs, signed footballs. So that's a wonderful package for either FSU or Florida Gator fans to take a look at. Then we've got a tremendous amount of signed memorabilia from Derek Brooks, for example, Warren Sapp, Dan Marino, Tony Dungy, Wade Boggs. We've got a signed bat and baseball from Wade Boggs. Just a whole plethora of really cool stuff. And there's some experiential stuff in there too. For example, you want to play around a golf with Steve Spurrier? You can bid on that. So that's a good one. You want to take a foursome to Isleworth in Orlando, which is virtually impossible to get on. You can bid on that. And then on top of it, we're working with an organization called Am Fund. They're out of Orlando, and they support nonprofits by helping with these types of online auctions. And they bring to the table these fantastic trips. I'm talking worldwide trips that you can bid on, to Italy, to Ireland, to the Greek Isles, in some domestic trips that are really a good opportunity for people. And the best thing about it is, if you bid on and win a trip, you have 3 years in order to take that trip. So if people are timid about COVID and all of that, how soon do I have to go? It's a 3-year window, and there's no blackout dates. So we're just tickled to death. So it suits everybody's fancy. Again, I'm going to chase people, Shane, to our website to go to the auction and register for the auction. That's important to get registered. so you can get a perfect look at all of the items that you have available. So again, at FloridaRisingStars.com, there's a giant button right when you click in that says go to the auction site. So hopefully a lot of people will want to jump in and do that.
And the auction starts tomorrow and runs through March 28th, correct?
Runs through Sunday. That's right. It starts early tomorrow at 8 a.m. and it'll be live until midnight on Sunday night, the 28th.
Well, Wayne, that's good stuff, my man. It's a great deal y'all got going on there. I think it's going to be outstanding for these young athletes. I think the part I like the most is they're going to get their on the field stuff at the camps, but going in and talking about sports medicine, sports management, different things that they can do if they aren't able to go on and play collegiately. It's something that they can stay involved with sports, and I think it's outstanding. So we appreciate you joining us today, and we're going to put up all the links here on our Facebook Live and all our websites and everything, and we hope this auction raises a lot of money for you guys.
Appreciate it, Shane. You're a great ambassador, and we're happy to have you part of the fold.
Thanks, Wayne. That's Wayne Hogan, the Executive Director of the Florida Rising Stars Project. We're going to take our final time out of the program. When we come back, we'll wrap up this Wednesday edition. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Carter Apparel, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios at Center State Bank. We put business first. We are the largest community bank in the state of Florida, and understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. Center State Bank, member FDIC. I want to thank JC for joining us, and also Wayne Hogan from the Florida Rising Stars Project. Tomorrow's program, we'll have Brent Beard talking college football. A lot of other SEC teams have cranked up SEC spring football. He'll talk about that. We'll also have UF track coach on, Mike Mouse Holloway, talking about his squad. And then on Friday's show, we're going to have former Gator running back Terry Jackson, part of the Jackson family. Hey, folks, make sure you go out and tell all your friends to follow our program, whether it's on Facebook Live, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Follow us and subscribe. We need more followers and more subscribers. Today's show's a wrap. Brought to you by Wrap Spot. Be safe out there, folks, and we will see you tomorrow.